Council meeting back to order. If you have a cell phone, other than the one that I have right here, if you have a cell phone, if you be so kind to put it on silent, mute, or off at this time, be greatly appreciated. We're going to be led in prayer by Madam Clerk, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Madam Clerk.
Mayor, I just have a question. You're going to roll right into the meeting? Because usually I don't do this first. We just do a meeting. Okay. O God of might, wisdom and justice, through whom authority is rightly administered, laws enacted and judgment decreed, assist us, we beseech thee, that this city council may be conducted in righteousness and be eminently useful to thy people over whom we preside. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, if you would call the roll, then we'll go right into our budget hearing.
Councilors Williams?
Here.
Morgan?
Present.
West?
Present.
Roots?
Present.
Mayor Kirkland?
Present. Madam Clerk, we'll roll right into our budget hearing.
It starts with the solicitor.
Thank you, Your Honor. Members of council, members of the public, welcome to the 2023 budget hearing for the city of Chester. Madam Clerk, has the notice of the public hearing on the 2024 city budget been advertised?
Yes, and I just want to correct, it's the 2024 budget and not 2023.
Correct. Has the notice of public hearing on the 2024 city budget been advertised?
Yes.
What was the date of advertisement?
It was 2 dates. The first one was advertised on December 1st, 2023, and then we had to reschedule, so then it was re-advertised on December 19th, 2023.
Where was the city budget advertised?
In the Delaware County Daily Times and also on our website.
Do you have proof of the advertisement?
I have both of them, yes.
And would you be so kind as to make the publication part of the minutes for this meeting?
Yes.
And has the budget been available in your office for inspection by the public from the date of advertisement to today's date?
Yes.
You gotta go to the other ear, Mayor. Say that again.
Please make sure you second.
Okay. At this time, I would ask our Chief of Staff, Leonard Leitner, to proceed with the budget.
Thank you, Solicitor, and members of the public, and also council. 2024 budget summary, just to go over the highlights of the summary. The reason for the delay in the budget this year was we revamped the process of the budget. We revamped the way the budget actually looks. So if you go onto the website, you'll see a different look of what the budget appears. The budget is broken down based off departments, and it gives a line item per department on a complete breakdown of the budget. In past, they weren't broken down as detailed as it is this year. I do send my apologies to council for the last minute, last council meeting. We did have a outline and a schedule set up to have the budget presented in November, but due to bankruptcies and some other debt services and things that we needed to get finalized, it prolonged our process in order to get the budget finalized. So in a brief summary, if you go to the website and you actually look at the budget on page 12 of the budget, it will give you a budget summary. 2024 real estate taxes, $9,967,529. It goes through the Tax Act 511, fines, permits, rents, revenues, charges and services and reimbursement. The total revenue that the city receives or expecting to receive in 2024 is $68,700,700. Our expenditures estimated for 2024, broken down per department from public affairs to the accounting and finance, public safety, public works and property, in operating transfers. Total expenditures are estimated at $70,608,529. That shows a budget deficit of $1.9 million. However, on the good news is, as we're going through the bankruptcy process, there are some debts that we do not have to pay this year. And one of those major debts is what we call Preston Hollow. It's an unsecured bond debt. And that amount is $3.1 million, which actually balances our budget out, that we have a balanced budget this year going into 2024. And also in this budget, Council, you will see that there's new positions that have been added. The reason we're adding new positions is to meet the demands and services that are required of our residents. So there will be some new positions added or requested to be added in the budget this year, along with the actual increase in the expenditures. But again, overall, the city has a balanced budget, and more details on each budget department is outlined in the budget on the website.
Okay. Are there any questions or comments from the public first?
So there is a sign-in sheet up there, Mr. Solicitor.
The sign-in sheet is on the podium for any members of the public that wish to comment.
Okay, good morning. You made a reference to page 12, and the information. Let me tell you what. I just got this off the computer. Everything that you just mentioned, I don't even see it on there. On page 13, you talk about the budget summary of total revenues, projected tax rate, blah blah blah, all the way down new positions. That's not even out there on the budget. And I looked as of this morning. I printed this off as of yesterday. So where is this information coming, and where does the public get a chance to see the numbers that was just referred to? I also note on my page 22 that y'all had on the online, you talked about everything that you had on there referred to revenues. On page 22, and under the finance, you have interest income for 2023 revenues was 1,000. And 2024 is 700,000. And where will that, and how will that be accomplished as far as revenues? Because you also put in there, and that really took me out, and when you had 69,900% increase of change in the budget. Also on page 23 of what I got off online, you had for 2023, for the community room, 113,000. And this year for 2024, for 25,000. And my question is, why the decrease? And you said portion of the police station rent will come from whom, is my question. And you have special events, something like Nelson, and what is that? So everything that you mentioned on your page 12, my page 12 is, let me tell you my page 12 is the mayor's message. That's what my page 12 says. So can you tell me where your budget is coming from? Thank you.
All right, so several different questions there. So first one, as far as your page 12, I can't attest to that, but I will look at online to see what the budget is. But again, if anybody wants to see it, here's the budget right here in front of me. But I will make sure right after this meeting that we have the right document that we have. That's what's on the website as well. Now, there was a draft budget. Again, what you might see up there was the draft budget. This is our draft final proposed budget. So there were some changes made in the budget from pages, and I believe council has some of those adjustments on the table of contents. We had to adjust some pages. So that's probably where the discrepancy's at. Now, you asked some questions about the actual income. Community room income showing 113,000 in 2023, and why is it down to 25,000? There's a couple different answers to that. Some of the revenue that we actually have put on that line, we're trying to make sure that every line item that's put, every dollar that's going on the line item is appropriate to that line item. So as many of you know, we have a new software system called Edmunds, and we're bringing that system up to date as we speak to make sure every department has the correct line item. So there are some items that have been budgeted on that, or I should say posted on that line item, that have to be adjusted for 2023. We're trying to be more accurate. You will see in 2024, there will be a system, so when you want to register for the community room, all of that will be automated now, and we will actually be able to track every event that happens in that room. So some of the stuff that we have right now is we're trying to confirm whether it's authentic or not. So our 2023 numbers are a little bit higher, but we're trying to be more conservative in 2024 so we can have a more accurate account moving forward. Now, I'm not understanding what your question was at the beginning when you were talking about your page 22. You said something about $1,000.
Yeah, on my page 22, it says finance, it says interest income or interest revenue. I'm just saying, it increased for 2024 to 700,000.
Yes, what?
Where was that revenue and how will you accomplish getting
So
that particular revenue?
interest income changed when we actually switched accounts, and we actually got what we call higher basis points. Many of you probably have checking accounts or saving accounts, and you get interest on your accounts. We actually switched account and did some negotiating with some of the banks, and we got a higher basis points. So believe it or not, when you have millions of dollars sitting in the bank and you change from a 1 point basis points up to a 3.3 basis points, interest income increases. So that's how we're expecting a higher increase. We're also projecting that, as we know, rates are changing in 2024. So again, this is an estimate of what we're estimating the interest income would be for 2024. But we did get higher basis points on our account, so that's why you see an increase. Did I answer all your questions?
Yeah, but so when will we be able to get the actual document that you're referring to?
Soon as this meeting is adjourned, I will make sure that I get with our IT department and make sure what I'm looking at, you're looking at as well. I will make sure that's done right after this.
Okay, so therefore, we couldn't answer we couldn't ask, certain questions because we're not looking at what you're looking at.
Again, I have to go back on the website. I have to go on the website and see. But again, we didn't change the budget from the draft budget to what we have now. There's just some minor changes. So again, some pages may be off because we changed the table of content because we added some more information to it. When it comes to the mayor's message and what I also added on there in the back of the budget, which you probably hadn't seen before, is what we call the capital improvement plan. That's added in there as well. But I'll make sure.
So we can do it after y'all pass the budget? After we pass the budget?
But we still haven't passed it yet, so.
Are there any other questions from the public? Hearing none, are there any questions from the mayor and council?
Not a question, but a comment, Mr. Solicitor. I am, well, we went from disincorporation, from bankruptcy to disincorporation to magic money. All of a sudden, we have money for more employees, we have money for more services, we have money for raises. I find that to be incredible, but it is what it is. I just wanted to make my comments and my statements to be on record. We went from disincorporation, from bankruptcy to disincorporation to magic money. Thank you.
Any other comments from council? Hearing none, that would conclude this hearing.
Thank you, Mr. Solicitor. Madam Clerk, we move for the approval of minutes.
Give me one moment, Mayor. Are you calling for the vote for it and then I'm saying? Are they voting on the minutes first?
Second.
Yes.
Nobody went first yet. I was asking.
Move for the approval.
So move.
Second.
Are there any questions?
Second.
Are there any questions? Madam Clerk?
Councilors Williams,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yes.
West, Roots,
Yes.
Mayor Kirkland.
Yes. Microphone is now open for public comments. If you have a public comment on the agenda items only, we ask that you go to the microphone, state your name, your address, and your comments on the agenda items only.
Okay, same address. Olivia Smith, I see you are going to pass the final reading of this 2024 budget. Last week, I think it was last week, you were supposed to have a hearing on that, and it did not take place. Based on what I asked in the budget hearing, not seeing the total, the community not seeing the total budget online, how is council going to do a final reading on a budget where the community did not get a chance to see its total information that was not disclosed?
Ms. Smith, that's a good question, and folks will have to make a decision as we move forward as council mayor.
I did it last night, okay? And I said, if there's any changes, I'm gonna look at it again this morning. And what I have this morning, and like I said prior, was not what Mr. Leitner read to the public today. So that that information is not accurate as far as the public eyes. That's I just wanted to make that. So I can't see how council can vote on something where the public did not even get a chance to view it in its proper state.
I'm on the website right now. Pardon me. And what I stated is on the website. So when you ask about the budget, the revenues and expenditures, it's in the budget. Okay, so. So when you talk about the budget, the revenues, the expenditures, it is broken down in detail online. What I presented was a summary that we added, again, for the public to understand. It's a draft budget we put online. Also, the budget was not just online, it was posted as we talked about earlier, as they stated. So for those of people that don't have online, it was still posted. It was available here as well. So there was changes, and that's why draft budget goes out, for council to look at it, for people to make comments, and as comments and suggestions are made, we adjust the budget. So yes, page 12 is a little different, and I did state that at the beginning, that there is a table of content now that's been added. And page 12, I put in there just recently, so it's a summary, so everyone, it makes it easier for the public to understand. So yes, your page 12 online is a little different than my page 12, but the meat of the budget is in here, revenues and expenditures. Everything that I quoted you from the numbers are accurate and they're in here. So yes, there's a page difference. And I just added page 12, which is the summary.
Thank you. Any other comments from the public? Hearing none, Madam Clerk.
Resolution, whereas the following individuals have requested a handicap parking zone. Number 1, Anthony Paris Taggart, 817 McDonald Street, Chester, PA, 19013. Number 2, Janice Williams, 308 East 22nd Street, Chester, PA, 19013. Number 3, Maria Randolph, 1134 West 9th Street, Chester, PA, 19013. Number 4, Sharon Hudson, 2713 Forward Street, Chester, PA, 19013. And whereas after a thorough investigation by the Department of Public Works, it has been determined the aforementioned individuals have met all of the required criteria and have a need for said handicap parking zone. Now therefore, the Council of the City of Chester does resolve that it does hereby authorize the proper city officials to install a handicap parking zone in the 800 block of McDonald Street, in the 300 block of East 22nd Street, in the 1100 block of West 9th Street, and in the 2700 block of Forward Street in the City of Chester.
So move.
Second.
Are there any questions? Madam Clerk?
Councilors Williams,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yes.
West, Roots,
Yes.
Mayor Kirkland.
Yes.
Resolution, the Council of the City of Chester does resolve that it does hereby ratify the appointment of the following individuals to the position of Patrol Officer, Chester Police Department, Department of Public Affairs, effective January 2nd, 2024, with a 1-year probationary period on a full-time basis with all benefits applicable thereto at the salary range provided in the annual appropriation ordinance. Number 1, Brianna Schrader, and number 2, Michael Bramble. Further, said patrol officers are required to reside in the City of Chester for the first 5 years of employment and must submit proof of residency to the Human Resources Department within 3 months of their date of hire. Thereafter, they may maintain their residence within 50 miles of City Hall.
So move.
Second.
Are there any questions? Madam Clerk?
Councilors Williams,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yes.
West, Roots,
Yes.
Mayor Kirkland.
Yes.
Resolution, whereas the City of Chester hired the following individuals for the position of apprentice firefighters, Bureau of Fire, effective December 26, 2023, with benefits at the salary range as provided for a first-year apprentice in accordance with the contract between the City of Chester and International Association of Firefighters, Local 1400. Thomas Sessa, Jeremy McCanns, and Matthew Hatton. Whereas said employment is contingent upon said individual successfully completing a 90-day probation from the date of hire. Now, therefore, the Council of the City of Chester does resolve, further, if said employee fails to meet the job expectations within the 90-day probation, said employee will no longer be eligible for the position and will be subject to termination from said position. Further, said individuals are required to reside in the City of Chester for the first 5 years of employment. Any firefighter not residing in the City of Chester must do so within 3 months of their date of hire as a permanent employee and must submit proof of residency to the Human Resources Department.
So move.
Second.
Are there any questions? Madam Clerk?
Councilors Williams,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yes.
West, Roots,
Yes.
Mayor Kirkland.
Yes.
Resolution, whereas the City of Chester hired Richard Bender for the position of Bilingual Code Enforcement Officer, effective January 2nd, 2024, for 37.5 hours per week with no benefits and a 90-day probationary period. And whereas said employment is contingent upon said individual successfully completing a 90-day probation from the date of hire. And whereas the city is required by law to offer said employee medical benefits after 60 consecutive days of employment, which is completed on March 1st, 2024. Now, therefore, the Council of the City of Chester does resolve. Further, if said employee fails to meet the job expectations within the 90-day probation, said employee will no longer be eligible for the position and will be subject to termination from said position.
So move.
Second.
Are there any questions? Madam Clerk?
Councilors Williams,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yes.
West, Roots,
Yes.
Mayor Kirkland.
Yes.
Resolution, whereas the City of Chester hired Crystal Everett for the position of Human Resources Journalist effective January 8th, 2024 for 37.5 hours per week with no benefits and a 60-day probationary period. And whereas said employment is contingent upon said individual successfully completing a 60-day probation from the date of hire. And whereas the city is required by law to offer said employee medical benefits after 60 consecutive days of employment, which is completed on March 8th, 2024. Now, therefore, the Council of the City of Chester does resolve. Further, if said employee fails to meet job expectations within the 60-day probation, said employee will no longer be eligible for the position and will be subject to termination from said position.
So move.
Second.
Are there any questions? Madam Clerk?
Councilors Williams,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yes.
West, Roots,
Yes.
Mayor Kirkland.
Yes.
Resolution, whereas Dr. Patricia Lewis West was appointed by Chester City Council to the Chester Water Authority Board on November 22nd, 2022 for a 5-year term. And whereas the City of Chester has the authority to appoint 3 members to the Chester Water Authority Board. And whereas Dr. Lewis West has submitted her resignation letter dated December the 11th, 2023 to the City of Chester. Now, therefore, the Council of the City of Chester does resolve that it does hereby accept the resignation tendered by Dr. Patricia Lewis West dated December 11th, 2023 to relinquish her position as a member of the Chester Water Authority Board.
So move.
Second.
Are there any questions?
May I just ask a question? Was the resignation also tendered to the CWA?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. I would just like to say that Dr. West, Patricia Lewis West, served on this board with respect and dignity for our city. Unfortunately, she was injured at home, a serious injury that prevents her from continuing on the board. So we ask that you would, and prior to her being injured, she lost her husband in a fatal fall. So we ask that you would keep her family in prayer. Madam Clerk?
Councilors Williams,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yes.
West, Roots,
Yes.
Mayor Kirkland.
Yes.
Resolution, the Council of the City of Chester does resolve that it does hereby appoint Leola Williams as a member of the Chester Water Authority Board to fill the unexpired 5-year term of Dr. Patricia Lewis West.
So move.
Second.
Are there any questions? Madam Clerk?
Councilors Williams,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yes.
West, Roots,
No.
Mayor Kirkland.
Yes.
Resolution, whereas a request has been made to the City of Chester for an honorary street name change to commemorate the service and dedication of Rosie L. Redding along a portion of 7th Street and Central Avenue. Whereas Ms. Redding dedicated 33 years of her life to being a crossing guard on 7th and Central in front of Booker T. Washington Elementary School, safely crossing 3 generations of children while volunteering as a field trip chaperone to the kindergarten classes of Booker T. Washington Elementary School. And whereas the city appreciates citizens who make significant contributions to our community and would like to honor this request. Now, therefore, the Council of the City of Chester does resolve that it does hereby authorize the installation of an honorary street sign renaming a portion of 7th Street and Central Avenue to Rosie L. Redding, subject to the implementation of a detailed comprehensive plan. Further, it does authorize the Department of Public Works to order and install the aforementioned sign.
So moved.
Second.
Are there any questions? Madam Clerk?
Mayor, I don't have a question. I just want to, wait a minute, let me let y'all do the vote first. Councilors Williams,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yes.
West, Roots,
Yes.
Mayor Kirkland.
Yes.
Before I read the next resolution, I have a thank you letter here. It says, to Mayor Kirkland and City Council, on behalf of my sister Candace Newsom, family and friends of Rosie L. Redding and myself, we would like to thank you all for honoring her with dedicating a portion of 7th and Central Avenue in her honor. Thank you, Rosemary Soul. Resolution, whereas at a special meeting of Chester City Council, known as Council, on December 30th, 2020, the City of Chester, known as City, awarded the bid for the collection, removal, and proper disposal of rubbish, trash, garbage, and recyclables in the City of Chester to Solid Waste Services Incorporated, otherwise known as J.P. Mascaro and Sons, known as Mascaro. And whereas the city and Mascaro entered into a 5-year contract on August 12, 2021 for the above referenced service. And whereas on February 28, 2022, Council approved the First Amendment to the aforementioned contract to include the collection of bulk trash for an additional $468,000 per year, prorated for calendar year 2022 based on the start date of bulk collection services. And whereas the city created the program for trash waste bins, Project 39, to purchase 65-gallon universal nestable cart trash bins, known as wheel carts, with American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA funds. And whereas Mascaro has determined the efficiency related to the additional equipment and manpower to perform the rubbish, trash, and garbage collection services with the 65-gallon wheel carts has impacted their price. Now, therefore, the Council of the City of Chester does resolve that it does hereby approve the Second Amendment to the current contract between the City of Chester and Solid Waste Services Incorporated, otherwise known as J.P. Mascaro and Sons, for it to amend the pricing under paragraph number 3 of the contract to provide an additional $120,000 annual increase of $10,000 per month based upon the delivery of 10,000 containers citywide to all participating units that receive services. Further, said price adjustment shall become effective on January 1st, 2024, without payment for units collected prior to January 1st, 2024, and continue the remainder of the term of the contract, which is December 31st, 2025. Further, it does hereby authorize the mayor to execute the amendment for and on behalf of the City of Chester.
Second.
Are there any questions? Madam Clerk?
Councilors Williams?
Yes.
Morgan?
Abstain.
West? Yes. Roots?
Let's be clear now. What's being asked here is to charge the city $120,000 more for those new trash cans you guys got. I saw no violation in the contract that we had with Mascaro that would justify this increase. And based on the data that they gave us, it didn't seem justified that we would have to pay $120,000 more because there's new trash cans on the street. No.
Mayor Kirkland?
Yes.
Resolution, the Council of the City of Chester does resolve that it does hereby the third addendum to the agreement between eCollect Plus LLC and the City of Chester dated April 2nd, 2013 to amend Schedule A, increasing the tax collection commission for current business privilege tax from 1.34% to 2%, and increasing the tax collection commission for delinquent business privilege tax from 10% to 20%, and all other terms and conditions as further detailed in the addendum. Further, it does authorize the mayor to sign the addendum for and on behalf of the city of Chester. Further, said addendum is contingent upon the final review and approval of the city solicitor.
So moved.
Second.
Are there any questions? Madam Clerk?
Councilors Williams,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yes.
West, Roots,
Yes.
Mayor Kirkland.
Yes.
Resolution, the Council of the City of Chester does resolve that it does approve and order payment of a series of bills and refunds as prepared by the Department of Accounts and Finance and as shown on expenditure approval lists dated November 30th, 2023, December 1st, 2023, December 14th, 2023, and December 18th, 2023, attached hereto and are made a part hereof, subject to approval from the Department of Accounts and Finance.
So moved.
Second.
Are there any questions? Madam Clerk?
Councilors Williams,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yes.
West, Roots,
No.
Mayor Kirkland.
Yes.
Bill number 19, first reading was on November 22nd, 2023. Ordinance number 16 of 2023, an ordinance of the City of Chester, Delaware County, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, appropriating specific sums, expenditures, and expenses for the 2024 calendar year. The estimated amounts are hereby appropriated from the fund equities, revenues, and other financing sources available for the 2024 calendar year for the specific purposes of municipal government, hereinafter set forth during the 2024 calendar year as more fully detailed in the attached proposed budget.
I move that we pass.
Second.
I move that we pass bill number 19 on its last and final reading.
Second.
Are there any questions?
No questions, just a comment or statement. I know there was some discussion about the budget earlier. Typically, I'm within the conversations and, throughout the process. I wasn't this year, however, in November, I did have conversation with the CFO and also the chief of staff surrounding the budget, answering questions that I may have just to make sure I'm on the same page before this came before us here to pass down this final time. So I know that there were some maybe questions or concerns about whether it was posted to the public or whether mayor and council had conversations about the budget and when they had those. I can speak for myself that I made sure that I knew what was going on within it because I was a part of it for some time now. So that was the comment I wanted to make.
Thank you, Councilman. Any other comments?
Yeah, I just,
I just feel that there could have been more inclusion of all members of council in this process, along with the preparers of the document.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman?
yeah, I just want to thank our chief financial officer, our chief of staff for putting in the work to get this budget completed, albeit at the very last moment. Also excited to see it as a balanced budget, and a big part of that balancing had to do with our bankruptcy hearing and getting that Paxson Hollow obligation that we would have otherwise had to pay them, I think upwards of $1.3 million erased. So that's exciting news for the city.
Thank you, Councilman. Madam Clerk?
Councilors Williams,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yes.
West, Roots,
Yes.
Mayor Kirkland.
No. Thank you, Council. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
You're welcome.
This time we have our swearing in of firefighters. Mr. Shaw.
Good morning, Mayor and Council, guests and residents of the city of Chester. In a few moments, it'll be my pleasure to present the three newest firefighters of the Chester Bureau of Fire. A little over 9 months ago, they started a very long and difficult journey with starting at the Philadelphia Fire Academy. And the reason I know that is I went through the Philly Fire Academy myself a number of years ago. But there they received some of the best training in firefighting, emergency medical services, and hazardous materials operations, as well as some grueling physical training. And they're now going to bring back their knowledge and skill to serve the residents of the city of Chester. One thing I would like to note is that during that entire time that they were at the academy, I never received a phone call once from academy staff reporting any type of issues. I actually had to call to check in to make sure that they were still okay. And every time I got a call, the instructor said if we didn't know you guys were from Chester, we wouldn't know, or yeah, if we didn't know they were from Chester, we wouldn't know who they were, which just basically means is that they gave it their all, their very best, and they were, you know, some of the top cadets there. Actually, at their graduation service, some of the instructors for Philly wanted to trade Philadelphia firefighters for Chester firefighters. So we got a good group coming in. That being said, we're going to swear them in so they can start their long and safe, healthy careers serving and protecting the residents of the city of Chester. So, without further ado, we'll get them sworn in.
Yes, sir.
There you go. Well, I was saying, Mr. Mayor, you've also always been a good friend of the fire department. Would you like to do this final reading of the oath of office for our firefighters?
Borrow some glasses. We had to get the police officers and the firefighters to start a basketball team around here. You already did it. Raise your right hand. I state your name. Do solemnly swear to do my duty as a firefighter for the city of Chester, Bureau of Fire, to the best of my abilities, to serve my commanding officers and fellow firefighters with respect and dignity, to serve the citizens of the city of Chester with compassion, courage, and integrity, and to uphold the laws and constitutions of the United States of America, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and the Charter of the City of Chester. So help me God. Congratulations. They don't get off that easy. Address your constituents.
My name's Tom Sessa. I just want to thank the mayor and city council for this opportunity to serve the citizens of Chester, my new family in the back. I'm looking forward to a long, healthy career. Thank you.
My name is Jeremy McCants. I would also like to thank the mayor, the city council, for giving me this opportunity to serve the citizens of Chester. I would also like to thank the citizens of Chester, and I'm honored to serve you. And I'm happy to be a part of this great department. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Matthew Hatton. I just want to thank the mayor and council and the residents of Chester. I also would like to thank my family, friends, and fellow cadet class and the Chester Fire Department for welcoming me on. Thank you all.
And just so you know, Mayor and Council, they'll be getting to work starting Saturday, so no time off.
No time off. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you all.
You're welcome.
All right, so on the agenda, you may not see it, but I have another presentation or community service award that we wanted to give to one of our homegrown, our faithful, Kevin Yes God Thomas. So as this, of course, is my last council meeting, we've been able to give some community service awards and keys to the city to some individuals throughout the time. But this past year, I've coached with the Chester High Clippers as we went on our historic run. Unfortunately, didn't end how we wanted to, but we went on a historic run. Every time I looked on the sidelines or in the end zone, there was an individual standing there with the camera, videoing the game, the players, the excitement throughout the entire year, whether it's a home game or away, whether it was rain or shine, and it was always Kev Yes God Thomas. Now, many of you know Kev as Yes God. Obviously, I know him as Kevin Thomas, one of the individuals who was dynamite on the basketball courts himself, someone who I grew up around my area on the east end of the city of Chester. He grew up with my family, my sisters as well. And I started seeing Kevin some years ago when he started bringing out his camera and inspiring people to give them a platform just to get in front of the camera at Chester Park. And what he was doing was allowing artists, entertainers to come in front of his camera to rap, to entertain, to DJ, whatever they wanted to do. And he pretty much put them on a platform and being able to show them to the world, not just to the tri-state area. So I want to thank you for doing that. But as we continue, in my time here, I've been able to notice that there's a job within a job. Like one time we went out to the Sun Studios, and you always see the entertainers, the Kevin Harts and things like that, but you don't see the people behind the scenes that are working, whether it's production, whether it's the catering company, the cleaning company, the construction company. And I say all that to say because he has given people another platform, another career or profession to look into. So not only on the sidelines when we were playing Chester High, when Chester High football team or basketball team is playing, there's a picture that has been circulating with Kev Thomas, and there's like 4 or 5 other Chester residents with cameras in their hand. And it's all because of this man right here. It's a lot of kids or a lot of people that are my age, I would say. I'm not a kid, but that looked up to you and seeing the doors that you've opened with just having a camera and being able to purchase all of the equipment that goes within that and being able to be on the sideline for not a fee, but just be on the sideline and capture some of the brightest moments here in the city of Chester and to put them on display, and then also going to the different birthday events and showcasing the excitement in one's face. I really appreciate what you've done as far as putting the city of Chester on a platform and broadening the horizon of where people can go and think they can do with just being having a camera behind their hands as well. So thank you. So this award I have here, it says, I'm gonna read it. It says Community Service Award presented to Kevin Yes God Thomas in recognition of your dedication, compassion, and outstanding contributions to our community. With heartfelt congratulations and a sincere thank you from Chester City Council on this day. Well, it says December 20th because we were going to do it last week, but December 20th, 2023. And the last thing I'll get before you all give your applause to this gentleman. A lot of people run around here in the city of Chester, and I do it as well, saying exit 6, not really knowing where it came from. Kev Yes God Thomas coined exit 6.
He was the first person in the city of Chester in Delaware County that started speaking on Exit 6, and then, of course, everyone else follows his lead. So you are a leader of many, so we appreciate the work that you've done in our community, man. Thank you.
I just want to say thank you to the city council, the mayor, and everything. But I remember 10 years ago when I first started, Corey Yock and the mayor and stuff did something like this for me. And you know, the thing is, I'm very passionate about this city. Everything I do was to shine light on the city because the city takes so much negativity. But everything I ever did and created, it's never been captured before. It's never been on video. It's never been done. So I took it upon myself to do it and start it. And now, what's popular now, I was doing 10 years ago. So now, me doing it now, it's just like I fit in with the new world order. But like, you know, I've been doing this for like over 12 years, and Yes God TV was never about me. It was always about Chester, you know. And it went from me to showing love to the city to now it turned into an all year-round business. People still support me, and they remember day one. So I just, you know, just want to keep God first, and I appreciate y'all for recognizing me. You know, I never asked for nothing, because what I do this, you know, it's passion. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very passionate about this. I never asked for no awards or any recognition, because what I do is about the city of Chester. So thank you all, and I appreciate it.
I just want to add one comment to Yes God, Yes God. We both kind of wallowed in the same space for a while when I was playing as a community journalist. And about 4 years after I got started, I said, you know, we moved to a blog format, and I knew I could add a lot more photos, and I wanted to learn how to do video. And just at that time, he was just getting started. We ran into each other a lot at Chester Panther games. And it got to a point real fast where I realized I can just move over. I don't have to do video because this guy is crushing it. We've compared notes on a lot of occasions. I'm amazed at how fast he can put stuff up compared to how long it takes me to put stuff up on video. I just knew video wasn't my thing. So I just want to say I'm really proud of where you came from. I think we always laugh at that first photo I took of you when he had this little maybe $80 red camcorder doing this thing. Now he's coming out with real professional gear, doing real big work, millions of views all over the world, some exclusive shots at Meek Mill coming out the prison. You're a real asset to the community. Thank you, and we look forward to a lot more from you.
Thank you, Councilman. Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to say to Kevin that I'm extremely proud of you, and I want to also thank you for your commitment and service to our community. You're extremely professional, always a timely person, and I'm just very, very proud to know you. And if there's any support that I can give you in the future, please don't hesitate to call.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Let me just say, more than anything, I know a lot of folks talk about your photography and the work that you do in the community. I want to talk about your faith and how you blew my mind when you turned your life around and your acceptance of Christ, and you made it public. You made it public, and other young people saw what you did, and you will be an inspiration to them because of your faith and your love of your God. So I want to thank you for that. Thank you. All right. Public comments. Ms. Lorraine Lavender Sam.
Good morning, everyone. Happy New Year.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay. I have 3 issues that I'm bringing here. I normally don't go out at night just because I'm busy. However, I had the occasion to be out a couple of weeks in a row at night. The city is dark. It's ominous. It looks unsafe. Okay, and it's setting up a situation. Okay, when you have dark areas, it draws unsavory characters to draw dark areas, you know, to do whatever, okay? I was not feeling safe riding around our city, and I've never felt, excuse me, unsafe in the city of Chester. Just the lighting put me in a bad mood. Now, I understand that we have some issues with the new fangled lighting. Somebody needs to fix them, okay? We have a large elderly population in Chester who would like to go out. You know, kids would like, the young folks would like to go out and fix the lighting. That's all I'm asking. I'm not putting blame on anybody or anything like that. Second thing is dumping of trash. I have had a pile of trash outside of my back of my garage for over a year, the same pile of trash, okay? I'm waiting for it to get up and take legs and start walking, all right? Please get that out of there, because I'm tired of looking at it, all right? Third thing, we are a compassionate community. That's why I settled here, because the community was compassionate, okay? And there are a lot of good, solid people here in this community. But now we have a homeless encampment on 7th Street who have set up shop behind the basketball courts towards 6th Street. You know, I've done all I can. I took them blankets or whatever I could do. Other women have been doing what they could do. The thing is, our shelters are full to capacity, okay? I don't know where these people are coming from, okay? But we don't need to let it get to a place where it got in Philadelphia. And I don't want you all to tell me you're going to do something and sweep it under the rug, you know, and treat these people in an undignified manner. I need for the situation to be handled, okay? That's it.
Thank you, Ms. Sams. As far let me just help you out a little bit. I don't know which area you were in when you said about the lighting, but I can assure you that the city is brighter than it's ever been. I can assure you that. It's brighter than it's ever been. That's number one. Number two, this is the first time you brought the dump situation to our...
Well, it's the first time I brought it on the floor, but it's not the first time I've told somebody. But that's neither here nor there. Please just fix it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. I think the first name is Carol. Come. Ms. White.
Good morning, Mayor,
Good morning.
council, and audience. This is a good day. Really, it's a good day. And today we are here to present our presentation to you, Mr. Morgan and Ms. William, and Amanda, wherever she is. I'm gonna use this paper, because this is the last day of this council meeting, which you're just turning the page to something new, okay? So, Mr. Mayor, wanna come down? God have us to do this. We sent here by God. It's a group of us. We are intercessors that pray and stand for the city of Chester. And we want to thank you for the 8 years of your service. Amen. It say we exalt therefore the petition, prayers, intercession, and thanksgiving be made on behalf of Minister Thaddeus Kirkland, that he may lead a quiet and tranquil life in all godliness and gravity. This is good and acceptable in the sight of our Savior God. 1 Timothy 2:1-3. Thank you for your 8 years of service as mayor of the city of Chester, Pennsylvania, and a citizen. Minister Carl White, Elder Constant Thomas, which could not be with us today, Elder Catherine Flagg, and Justice, and Tuesday Intercessory, December the 27th, 2023. God bless you. I want to say that number 8 means new beginnings. Number 8 means new beginnings. Remember that, and we love you.
Thank you.
Okay, Morgan. I'm so sorry that Elder Connie is not here, but this is a okay? It say, go confidently in the direction of your dreams and live the life you imagine. God bless you and thank you for your work you have done here.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Williams.
Come on over there.
We just want to say thank you for your service to the city of Chester, your inspiration, how you look forward to doing great things in Chester. Most recently, the proclamation for a change in William the Penn's Landing to Chester. And we appreciate that. And we thank you for that. We say that God bless you in your future. This is a pillow that we're giving you. It's not your picture on it, but your name is on it. And actually, Elder Connie's not here, but she is the one who thought of doing this for you with our group. So hope that this is blessing you.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate it. And we hope that you...
I would like to, I'd just like to say, I had a beautiful time here in my city. I gave y'all all I could, and the Lord steered me in my direction. I followed his footsteps. And I love the city, but I just want to open it up so the people here in the city can go and grow, and we can be a city where we all live in and not have to leave it, and make it beautiful. Make it beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Chester. One more thing, Penn Landing is Chester's now, okay? When we say where did William Penn land? On Penn Street in Chester, Pennsylvania, okay?
Chester! Amanda?
Yes, I'm not going to do a cheer for you this time.
Okay, well, we're going to ask you to do that. So we want to present you with these flowers and cards. We appreciate you. You have been really helpful, very helpful. We know that you're leaving this position, but we know that God has another open door for you. So we ask that God bless you and your future, and that you'll continue to do great because you're a great person. We love your smile, and we love your willingness to do whatever we ask you to do. So thank you so much.
I have one more thing. I'm not a public speaker. I know I'm a little nervous, but I'm here because God called me to be here to be a blessing. And I love the city of Chester. We are intercessors and we pray for the city of Chester at all times, and God is getting ready to do some great things. But I want to say something to the chief of police. Chester had seemed like it was just, mayor is still standing, Chester's still standing. But I want to say all the bad things that has been going on in the city of Chester with the shooting and the killing. Somewhere God answered our prayer because it had been calm. I'm not saying things are not happening in the city. I lived in the shooting, me and my grandchildren, in the community. And it was like every day shooting and shooting, one's getting killed. But I can say today, I don't hear shooting like that anymore. And I don't hear parents losing sons or daughters or ones that wasn't meant to be. So I want to thank you and keep on doing what you're doing. And we need a chief like you on board. Amen? Thank y'all so much.
Okay. Y'all have accomplished something great already. You've got the commissioner to say amen. Thank you, ladies. Thank you for all that you do, and thank you for your prayers, and thank you for your acknowledgments. It's greatly appreciated. Ms. Smith.
Just want to keep with the tone that has taken place on a positive note. As we transition into 2024, I will continue to pray for the leadership that it will be taking place, and I want to also thank the ones who are outgoing for taking us to a new step within the city that has not happened before, and hopefully that each day as we move forward, that understanding and our differences, we can agree to disagree, but in all, that those of us who live here and is going to continue to live here will continue to be a thorn in some sides, but on a note, thank you for what you have done for the city thus far. And hopefully the transition, as I asked for last meeting, that wasn't none, but hopefully there will be a transition that will keep our community in a positive light. Thank you. Happy New Year.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Salim.
Good morning to you, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, it's an excellent day. I want to say so much, and I don't want to say too much. I don't want to overstay my welcome here. There's quite a bit that is going to be said because God has opened the way for us to say it. And it's something that you have never, heard before, never, no eyes have seen it before, no mind could imagine this before. So we're thankful for Mayor Thaddeus Kirkland, the Honorable Mayor Thaddeus Kirkland, and the Honorable Council members who brought us to this point. I make a point of saying that we arrive with you, and certainly we have. You know, you can say more to this, but I'm trying to get through here. We want to open the door, open the way, and we want to. The way has been closed to our Lord. No matter what you say of your Lord, God said, "Look, don't get in touch. Do not have a confusion with me about name. You know, Jehovah, Jesus, so and so, Allah, and so on." He said, "If you get that way, just call me Ar-Rahman, or most merciful." So we all can agree with our Lord being most merciful, most merciful. We can call him whatever we need to call him, surely, without doubt. I want to say to you right quick here, this is your last meeting, Mayor, the Honorable Sir, and I don't want the whistle to blow on me, but I want to get through here. Yes, sir, I love you, know this Mayor. Allah says, God said, if you love a person, tell the person, or you love, I love you for the sake of our Lord. For the sake of Allah, brother, I love you for our Lord, as well as council and all those who contribute. But man, there's each minute is going to get easier here now, because we have arrived, and God is doing this Himself. It's in God's hands, and we just have to continue following our Lord. We just have to continue following our Lord. If we continue following our Lord, we will be successful. If we turn back, we will not be successful. God is doing this Himself. Inshallah, God's willing, lead us to knowledge. You know, that's quite a consciousness. But let me say, one of the door closers that we have endured for so long, and it's still closing the door, but we're opening the door to stay here with the help of our Lord. Around this time, Christmas and the New Year, these two things are someone like for this to go on, and we're going to go on. We're going to dig out of habit, habitually door closing, stagnation, and we're going to open it up, and we're going to go to our Lord. So one of the things is a child is born, Jesus is born, of a woman, Mary, and that's simply put. And the three wise men who brought the gift to Jesus and his mother were just simple gift. We don't want the commercialism or commercial come in and mess this up. They mess up a lot of stuff that got us stagnated. We opening the way to stay here. Simple gift, small gift, human form, for a human type of thing, just small gift, wise men. Keep it going. Not give your children, overwhelm your children with gifts that they lose their way. They pile gift on them, overwhelm them. We do not, or they do not go anywhere at all. Stagnate. We want to get back to these type of things, and we're going to go on. Let old acquaintance be forgotten. And if you look at that, the old acquaintance be forgotten, and that old acquaintance be forgotten. That's a strain that we have to do to get rid of some of this old stuff, that we have to let some of this mess go and go on. So, sir, I feel like, I want to go on, but you know me by now, sir, and we have shared a great time, and we're going to share some excellent times, sir. We're going to share some excellent times. We're going, all of us, going to share some excellent time. We're not finished yet. We just beginning. So if you think that you got something other than this, you're terribly mistaken. So inshallah, God willing, sir, the earth shift on its axle for people moving out a while ago, if you will, sir, and I don't want to hold you. And they want to hold it that way with artificial intelligence. They don't want guys intelligent to, as the children say, straight up. So they're doing all they can to operate with this artificial intelligence to keep the earth or the mentality of the people shifted that way. We're straightening this up now, sir. We're straightening this up. As the children say again, this will be straight up, straight up, straight up. Sir, again, I don't want to hold you any longer, and the words cannot say how much I enjoy and appreciate, and just being here, doing this, and we have arrived, and inshallah, God's willing, we will endure great things. Great things in the city.
Thank you, Mr. Salim. Thank you, sir. Mr. Jones?
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It's always my luck to become behind someone like Mr. Salim or Mrs. Shelton, but I jotted down a couple of notes, so I want to read it. But I want to thank Mayor and Council for their service and their dedication. When I worked with them in the street, they put boots on, they went out in the street, they picked up trash. They were out in the streets at night when any type of crime or anything that happened, fires, you would see them out in the streets at night. So they worked. These jobs are supposed to be like part-time, but they worked full-time. They put the hours in. So I want to thank you for your service. And I want to thank you for standing up to an unelected official when you were trying to do your job. To my director, Liz Williams, I want to thank you for being the most effective Parks and Recreation of Public Property Director in the last 20 years. You have changed the landscape of Chester with dozens of upgrades and projects like the Baby Dell in Chester Park. At Washington Park, Sun Village, Memorial Park, Highland Gardens, the Octagon, Holy City, you installed new playground equipment. You installed equipment at the waterfront also. You revamped the summer food program. You improved toys for tots. You gave seniors and young people an opportunity to dance the night away every summer at Ethel Waters Park. Also, we installed LED lights in every city-owned building. You also did trips for seniors, class trips for seniors, and you took them to Washington, D.C. And just last week, you, State Representative, and other folks, you got the state of Pennsylvania to recognize that the official William Penn's Landing is in Chester. So Councilwoman Williams, I just want to say, job well done. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Down to Council. Councilwoman West, do you have anything, any final comments?
I always have something to say, but today I give my comments with a heavy heart. I've worked with you, all of you now, for over 10 years. And Councilwoman Williams, I just want to say that you are the most caring and loving council person that I've ever had the opportunity to work with. And there's nothing that you would not do for your community and the people who live here. Seniors, you were always on point where the seniors were concerned, and children knew that you loved them, and you literally nurtured a great number of children here in Chester, making sure that they knew math, that they knew how to spell. They were also competitors, you know, and it's just a wonderful thing that you've done. And then the historical factor that you brought alive within the past recent weeks, and really you've been working on it for years to let people know who really landed here in Chester. And Chester is the place, and we have a great city here, and you've always put all of your efforts here, and I want to thank you for your support of me. And I want to say, too, that people who have worked for you have gone on to bigger and better things and other levels of government, and that's because of you and your support and giving them an opportunity here in Chester. Councilman Morgan, I find you to be an intelligent, tenacious, vibrant, I mean, everything good that I can think of in my mind. That's what I find you to be. I'm very proud of your accomplishments, and I know that you have a bright future ahead. There are bigger and better things coming your way, and I know you know that. You're industrious. You're a businessman. You can articulate those numbers. That's your gift. And I just want to wish you all the best, give you all of my best wishes going ahead in the future. And then Mayor Kirkland, you and I have been together for over, well, really, we go way back. I sang in your wedding. And I just want to thank you for the opportunities that you had given to me as your co-counselor on Chester City Council, your support, the lessons that I learned both politically and professionally. I thank you for everything that you've done in support of me, my department. We respect you. I'm going to miss you dearly, but we'll still be seeing each other. You're not going to get rid of me. And I want to thank all three of you for the service that you've given to the Chester community and its people. Thank you for loving Chester heart. You truly love the people of Chester. And I just want to say I'm going to miss you and on being on council. And I thank you so much for the life lessons.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilwoman Williams.
It'll make you think I want to say something.
Well, Councilwoman Williams.
All I can say is thank you. I don't know. I had a ball. That's all I got to say, because I did what I knew was best for my people here in the city. I learned them. I helped them. And and the Lord led me, so hey, give all the glory to God. I can't, that's me. That's me. That's the way I raised my kids too. We just, to the point, go to work, make some money, get what you want to get. But one thing, remember, don't forget Jesus. But I need you to go to work. You're not going to be here and don't go to work. Everybody needs to go to work.
Councilman.
Let's switch gears a little bit, just talk about some topics that came up today. First of all, the fire cadets that joined our fire team today. I'm really excited about them. You saw them walk up here. I can't tell you how difficult it is to get through a fire academy. If you don't believe me, try it yourself. It is hard, hard, hard. So to know that those guys want to take that skill and bring it to the city of Chester just means a lot to us. Now, we all would love to see people from right outside these windows apply and go through academy as well. We have to work on making this type of job exciting for our locals, so I need all of your help in doing that. We had some recent fires in this town. It only speaks to the fact that we need the best firefighters that we can get, whether it's an abandoned church or whether it's some kid playing with matches, burning down apartment buildings, displacing 10 people. It's tragic, but the fire department is really well run, really well resourced, and has some of the best firefighters around. Firefighters want to come to Chester because that's where the action is. It's amazing to see it. I could never be a fireman, but really respect those three for wanting to join us. City lighting, what Ms. Lavender Sams brought up is really become a priority for me moving forward because things have changed with regard to lighting. The new lights that have gone in are certainly a lot brighter, those LED lights, but they're also not as durable as the old lights. There used to be a time when a light went out, we could send somebody out, switch the bulb rather quickly. Now it seems the combination of the lack of durability of these LED lights and the fact that the electricity that comes to Chester, as spoken by our engineer at the last meeting, is really fickle. You know, electricity in an ideal sense comes in a straight line. What comes to Chester spikes and dips, and it not only knocks out a light, it knocks out a pair of lights, or maybe 3 or 4 on a block. So it takes a little more than just somebody who can change a bulb to fix some of these issues. So we're going to have to really put our heads together and probably dedicate a team of people to fix these lights and to put lights where there were not lights originally. There still are some dark spots in the city that has to be addressed. And homelessness, another thing that Ms. Lavender Sams brought up. If you haven't noticed, Chester is really becoming home to a lot of migrants who have crossed the border, made their way to probably Philadelphia, who are farming them out here. I can tell you it's not only affecting the number of encampments that are showing up in the city of Chester, but it's depleting the feeding resources around town. I have done everything that I can. I've been working with the FOP, who seems to magically be able to get food and resources and just are looking for places to, place them around town. The migrants are finding where the foods are, where the food sources are, and they're going to the pantries, they're going to the free feedings, and they're, I won't say taking away from the residents that have been used to showing up, but in a sense, that's what's happening. So another concerted effort, and I love the point that you made, is that you have to do it in a humane way. You just can't bring a bulldozer because these people aren't lived here, aren't paying rent, scooping them out of town. There are resources, nonprofits, and other entities we have to bring to the table because we just don't have the resources ourselves to handle that big problem. And to my colleagues on council, it's been a ride for a couple years. It's been fun learning to be an elected official with you guys. We've had a whole lot more great times than not so great times. Mayor, it was always fun sitting in the office, just kicking it as two guys, roughly the same age, growing up at the same time. Your cat stories are hilarious. I loved them. Where we worked together well, we worked together well. Where we battled like gladiators. But I think all in all, we're leaving on a good note here. You guys know that the city is looking at change. I would tell all of you who aren't comfortable with change, take a picture of what you see here, and then come back 2 weeks later and see what's going to change. What's going to change is a lot of experience, a lot of years are walking out the door here. We're going to be replaced with 3 rookie council persons and a rookie mayor. That's a lot to be taking charge of a city in the condition that it's in. So I'm going to ask you guys to work with us, be patient with us as we figure each other out, as we kind of mend and meld. You guys, I'm so proud that you've been together for so long. You're a team. I've, joined the team, late in the tenure. It's time for me to form a new team. Just have a little grace, a little patience with the new team while we figure it out. But one thing that's for certain, whether it's this team, whether it's a new team, we all love the city of Chester. We are here for that reason. We put ourselves on the ballot for that reason. We show up to work for that reason. And that's what it's all about as an elected official. So best of luck to all of you. I expect to see nobody retire and put themselves on a rocking chair on the porch. We're still going to be counting on you guys for some advice and some guidance. So believe me, I'm going to keep all of your numbers. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Morgan?
Yeah. So, I don't have much to say. I can't believe we approaching noon, 12 o'clock, partly on us, but I'll leave that alone. It's been a ride, it's been a journey. Very appreciative of all of the smiles and the giggles, and appreciative of those upset moments as well that has been pushed in front of me throughout the, I guess, 7 years been on council. Did not know I would ever be here. Growing up, had visions of doing other things, been in sports, been in media, but somehow I found myself in one of the best positions in life, being able to try to change the trajectory of my community, of my city, where I was born and raised. But very thankful for what I've been able to see and uncover on this side of the fence, or this side of the door. And I say that because I didn't have real direction. Similar to many people that grew up in our community, you kind of, sometimes to some degree, or at least to a certain age, you're a product of your environment. So we all have those friends who engage in not so good activities. Sometimes it's brought right to your front doorstep. And being an elected official allowed me to kind of stick a fork in the road and to go in a different direction. So I'm very gracious for that. What I will say, similar to what Councilman said, there is definitely some new blood, new intelligence, but youthful intelligence that are coming on to council. And I always said this, that wanting the administration to fail is also similar to jumping on a plane of the American Airlines and wanting the pilot to fail. I think we all need to find ways to support the administration or individuals that are coming on. Not that you should not challenge them, not that you shouldn't hold them accountable and responsible for what they say or what they don't say, but we need to find a way to support them in whatever capacity that may be. It could be a small ounce. It can be coming outside your front doorstep and sweeping, because at times I believe that those types of things that are very contagious to your neighborhood and to your block. Or it can be something that is much more larger in scale, whether it's people creating a nonprofit and doing other things. But we need to find ways to support them, because in turns it really helps us live a more fruitful life as well. Life is full of imperfections, and I know I'm not perfect, and I don't try to be. We are all human. We all make mistakes. But we also do a lot of good for our families and for those that support us, or that we support as well. In this role, I wanted to make sure that I left it in a better place, making sure that I knew I wasn't going to please everyone, and I wasn't trying to. But knowing that one day at a time, I was able to make one person smile, reassure one person, empower one person, or potentially change the trajectory of their life or their decision-making one day at a time. And I know that I've been able to do that for more than one person, more than a few. And not just more than a few, but also more than a few companies and businesses and organizations here in the city of Chester as well. So again, I'm forever thankful for the opportunities that has been pushed in front of me. I know the things that I've done may not have been the magic cure, may not have been the complete fixer here in the city, but I know it has most certainly done an ounce of good to change the city and lead it into the right path. So with that, I do want to thank some folks. Now, I'm going to leave some people out, but I just want to thank my finance folks. The reason being because I truly believe that there's strength in numbers. And I truly believe that as a leader, you're only as good as your people that work beside you. So I have some names here. I just want to throw them out there real fast. I want to thank these individuals. I want to thank Audra, Kenya, Miss Arlene, Daniqua, Asia, Janelle, Anise, Dr. Pettiford, Beatrice, Chanel, Karen, Mike Hurst, Fran, Miss Pat, Shanae, Miss Lisa, Joy, who's going to be the new controller, Candace, Miss Katie, Nafis, Miss Stephanie, Judy, and of course, Controller Edith Blackwell. At times, Miss Blackwell is forgotten about, but I love her to death, love her dearly, and she's done a great work for this community as well. Again, there's strength in numbers, and I wouldn't be who I am or where I am or the things that I've been able to push forward without the team that has surrounded me. So with that, I appreciate the mayor, thankful for all of the things that he's provided to me as far as information, as far as knowledge, guidance, providing me so we can make the right decisions, understanding that sometimes you're going to go left a little bit, but just get back on the right path. Just keep moving forward. Loving the process. You have to love the process because there's going to be tons of obstacles that are going to become in front of you, and that's just life. That's how it works. Councilwoman Williams, like Councilwoman West said, very passionate about her city, her community. No matter the age of what you are, if you from the city of Chester, she gonna fight and ride or die for you. So thank you for showing, not that I wasn't passionate, but bringing that out of me when needed. Of course, Madam Clerk. Madam Clerk, we love you for pretty much she was, I say this all the time, but she just I'm gonna say the proper way to get stuff done person. She just gets it all done. I seen you here late last night getting stuff done too. I seen your car parked. Councilman, soon to be mayor or mayor-elect right now. Again, as I mentioned, we as the community have to support you. You've said some facts in what you just stated, and I truly believe that the community that has elected you and your counterparts will do just that. So, Ken, appreciate your wisdom. Councilwoman West, you already know. I'll call you at 6 a.m. in the morning, or you'll call me before that. But nonetheless, I'm thankful, truly thankful for all of those who I've worked with. And just because I see a few of y'all, Miss Amanda, Mark Alexander, Mike Galante, Chief Leitner, Commissioner Gretzky, Miss Rosetta Carter, Miss Livia Smith, Mr. Jones, Mr. Peter Reichert, and a few that may have walked in and walked out. The time, the discussions, the knowledge that has been brought upon me, I thank you for your work. And Councilman Morgan is now signing out. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. I am not going to try to call out all the names and point out everybody, but I will say this. It has been an honor and a privilege to serve as not only your mayor, but your state representative. Just give you a little bit of history or history lesson. As I was attempting to leave Harrisburg, the then Governor Wolf asked me to stay on as both state representative and mayor. And so you're looking at living, breathing, walking history of Chester. And I don't do a lot of talking about what I do, what I've done and in the past, but sometimes if you don't speak of those things, they'll go unnoticed. And so before I even go there, I want to say to you, Chief Leitner, thank you for being that calming spirit within council. Not only within council, within the council and dealing with the receiver and his team. You've been a godsend, and I know you'll continue to do well in your role. You may have wondered, I didn't say anything to Chief Leitner about the budget and my vote because I was not involved in the process. And when I'm not involved in the process, and that's not throwing any shade on Chief Leitner, when I'm not involved in the process, I have a problem voting on something that I have not had a say in, a hand in. But I want to thank you for your continued commitment to the city of Chester and your work. Mr. Solicitor, you and I have known each other for quite some time. And we will continue to know each other for quite some time. I want to thank you for all the hard work that you have put in, your friendship. You not only shared your knowledge, but you shared your family. And I appreciate that, as well as mine. And you're not like family, you are. One of the things I did when I first took office is that I made a commitment, a promise. And some people say, don't make promises, don't do that. And I made a promise, and that promise was this, because when I came in office, we were in a state of emergency. Crime was rampant, and we were about to lose approximately 20 police officers going into retirement. And the promise was that if you elect me as your mayor, that I would do everything in my power to reduce crime by 50%. I lied. We did 67% reduction. And I said we, because a lot of folks like to take credit for this, that, and the other, but when you have the proper team in place, the proper quarterback in place, as Commissioner Gretzky was and still is, then positive things happen. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate the work of the department. Sometimes we had to work with little or nothing, but this is a safer community. I know it's a safer community because Philadelphia came here and asked us, how did we do it? And we told them we did it one block at a time. We told them we did it by working with other community groups within our city. And we are not in a state of emergency. As a matter of fact, we're in a state of growth. When I became mayor, downtown was dormant. One business, Cambridge. If you look behind me now, you'll see the downtown is growing, and it's growing rapidly. When I became mayor, when I became mayor, if you look over to the left side of the building, you're right, you'll see a brand new hotel right downtown Chester. When I became mayor, you'll see the businesses. The old Sacred Heart Hospital is now a flourishing Everest Medical Center. When I became mayor, you'll see the businesses on 291. You'll see what's going on at the soccer stadium. When I became mayor, and even during a pandemic, when everybody got laid off, this mayor was on the back of a trash truck, throwing trash in the truck during the pandemic when nobody wanted to take a shot. This mayor was the first one to go down to the senior center and get a shot, to encourage other folks to get that shot. During the pandemic, when people did not have food, this mayor talked to other entities, and they provided us with food for the residents of Chester so that nobody had to go hungry, and we also, here, under our health department, were able to provide services to those folks who could not get out of the city, but were able to get their shots, get their testing right here in City Hall. these are just some of the things that we have done. And the reason we did it is not for accolades, even though there are those who may have been what we call naysayers. We didn't do anything for accolades. We did it because of Galatians 6 and 9. I think it's 6 and 9 or 6 and 8. It says, don't get weary in well-doing. For in due season you shall reap if you faint not. Don't get weary in well-doing when people talk about you. Don't get weary in well-doing when people turn their backs on you. Don't get weary in well-doing when people shame your name. Just stay focused. This is not, as was stated earlier by the ladies, this is a turning of the page. And I'm excited about it. Trust me. I am excited about this turning of this page. And I'm excited about what we've done and what's going to happen here in the city of Chester. I'm not going nowhere. My wife has made sure of that because she waited till I got the age I am and decided she wanted to get another house or another mortgage. So I'm not going anywhere. We'll be here. We'll continue to serve and continue to do what we know is best for our community. My grandkids are here. My kids are here. My sister and my family is here. Chester is my home. And regardless of what anyone says, you'll never, ever, ever hear Thaddeus Kirkland put his city down. Never, no matter who's sitting in this seat. You'll never hear me put the city of Chester down. I'll always lift it up. I want to thank you. This has been an honor. It has been a privilege. It has been a service of love. And now I'm going to find something else to do. Thank you.